idea and the inspiration for the clinic?
Well, I've lived in Odessa almost my whole life, and just looking around, I know that there's a need for more health care, more primary health care. And because I'm a pediatric nurse practitioner, I see the need in children. And so I wanted to make a bigger impact, and I knew that there was a need in the community, and I knew that I could be the one to fill it. When I finished my doctoral education at Texas Tech, that's when I really, in the program, I knew that there was something more that I wanted to do. I just really didn't know how to get there. And as I, you know, got closer to graduation in May, more and more people that I would talk to about the ideas that I had for primary health care for pediatrics, I got more encouragement that maybe I can open my own clinic and I can do the things I want to with the children of Odessa and the surrounding counties. And here we are today.
Okay, I mean that's great. And how long do you think that it took you for that dream to sort of become more than a dream and develop into a concrete plan?
Well, really, what happened is it was June when I really started thinking, I think that I'm going to open my own clinic someday. So started, thinking about how to go about doing that. Talking to people I knew in the financial realm, talking to some of my mentors that are also nurse practitioners. It really came down to July 4th weekend, sitting around very casually at a pool, people with young children, and just kind of talking to them saying, I really think this is what Odessa needs. And they were like, yeah, and you're the one to do it. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe I am the one to do it. So on the way home, I told my husband, I said, I really think that I'm going to open my own office now. And he's like, well, it's about time.
Mm-hmm.
So, I really had the support of my family and my peers to do something like that. And that's when I really started the ball rolling in thinking financially towards a business plan. How am I going to get from a dream to reality?
Okay, all right, that's great. I mean, I think it's particularly important when you can get the support of your peers and particularly your family.
Right,
so that
right.
makes great difference. So you came to the SBDC about 6 weeks before you opened the clinic.
Yes.
What sort of help were you looking for? What made you decide to come and talk to us?
Well, first of all, I'd heard the grapevine through some of my colleagues that I could get help with my business plan. And that's what it really comes down to whenever you need financial backing is you need a good business plan.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an idea how to do that, but wasn't really sure what all needed to be in that portfolio to present to a banker and say, this is a good concrete plan for a business and I need money. So I really needed that help to make sure I had all my ducks in a row before I went to the bank. And so that's why I went to you guys.
Okay, all right. Do you think that the SBDC was able to help you with those preparations?
Absolutely. When I'd first called, I kind of got a little bit of direction. I had already started thinking of, what kind of growth I'm going to need to show in my projections. I'd also started with a list of patients that I've had in the past, families that I know, to get that patient intent list that I think was an integral part of the business plan,
Mm-hmm.
showing that these are the people that I think will come. They've given me, their word that they will come wherever I am. And I think that really kind of gave that personal side to the business plan as well as the concrete numbers, which is what's really important. But I needed someone to help me to get all of those things together because that's not a training I'd had. I've had a business class, I had a finance class, but it never was, if you want to start your own medical office, you do this.
Yeah.
So that's where I needed the help.
Okie dokie. And thinking about the information that we were able to give you, in what way was the Small Business Development Centre the most help, do you think?
I think one of the things that I really needed help with was the demographic and showing the need in the community. And those numbers that were pulled to show what our population looked like, just kind of a snapshot of Odessa and the surrounding counties, how many children there were versus how many adults there were, so I could really show that there was a need for a business like this. There are other pediatric offices out there, so I needed to show the bank that even though there are other businesses like mine, help them, to see why there is also a need for another one and what would make mine different than all the rest that are out there. And I think that I got that help.
Okay, that's great. I remember doing some of the narrative
Mm-hmm.
on the business plan
Mm-hmm.
and was struck by the way that you'd already put it in there, so that was great. Would you recommend other would-be business owners to make use of the SBDC services? And if so, what would you say was the most important?
I think I've already suggested to some of my peers, that are kind of thinking about going this same route, that they need to start there. I think if I would have started there in the very beginning rather than kind of come up with all the narrative and all this myself and then go see you guys, maybe it wouldn't have been so stressful for me to begin with. But what I found is whenever I called and had a question, or I was like a meeting with the bank, I need to know something, I think that just the response I got from you personally, because you were the one I talked to, was also just very professional yet very personable, and I felt comfortable that you guys were going to help me succeed in what I needed. Get this business plan written, and ultimately get the money that I needed to start the business.
Okay. And finally, have you any other thoughts? I'm always interested in people coming from an employed background and then starting, because I've done it myself, and then starting their own business. Have you any sort of philosophical thoughts about the difference and how that's affected you and your family and your life generally?
Well, I always thought I would want to be my own boss, and it's been great. It's been wonderful. It is a definite change from the way I've always had a boss since I started working when I was a secretary going through nursing school, and it's a different way of doing things. It's much you look at things differently. I know how many patients I need to see to be able to feed my family and the families of the people that work for me. I have a greater appreciation for the bosses I had in the past, especially those that were a small local business, and there's a lot more to it than I thought. And but on the flip side though, I can do things the way that I want to and the way that I know is right for me and my family. I don't work late. I've got 2 small kids, and this business has allowed me to spend more time with my girls, and now my husband has actually come on to help me run the business side of it, because I am so busy in the clinic I do not have time to do both things. So now he is running the administration part, and so it's a partnership, and it's the both of us, and this is our baby, and it's been really neat to grow it over the last year, but ultimately this is the best thing that could have happened to our family.
Okay, well, those are all my questions, and again, congratulations, Tamara.
Thank you so much.
I think you've done a fantastic job. I really do.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's crazy. I was looking back